Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 126. This podcast is about anything and everything related to Destiny the game. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, Arrow gives his thoughts on Curse of Osiris, we sink our teeth into Masterworks, and we talk about how small improvements can make a big difference in player engagement. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT and CyborgSasquatch. Hey, man.
Hello.
How are you?
Welcome back.
Thanks, sir.
I'm good.
Thank you, Joe, for filling in.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
How you doing this week?
Good, dude. Doing great. Busy last couple weeks just with the holidays and family and sickness and things like that, but I think you've had a little bit of that as well. We were talking about it.
It's the most wonderful time of year,
right? But yeah, man, I mean, everything's great, you know, going with the flow. Christmas is almost here.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, how about you guys?
You know, it's another week getting ready for Christmas. We all had the flu, so getting that out of the way.
Before the holiday weekend, the official holiday weekend.
Yeah, if we can all just be healthy before next weekend, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yes, definitely. So, get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm. But you know, intermixed with all that, just been grinding that Destiny 2, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you. Got plenty
to talk about. It successfully kept me away from all other games this week, so that's a good thing.
On its way back.
Yeah. So let's talk about some Destiny 2 this week. First off, we got a couple announcements, right?
Yes, we do. We gotta let you guys know, if you're a regular of the show for the last couple years, you know we usually take off one official week in the year, and it's usually the week after Christmas. But with the way the holiday is falling this year, which is basically the day before reset, usually some traveling going on my part,
yep,
for sure, and just in general, you know how the holidays are
yep,
for all of us and Cyborg and I. So with that said, we are actually going to take our week off after this episode. So this episode you're listening to will be the last for 2 weeks. We'll be back on January 2nd.
2017 too.
Yes. Well, technically, I thought about this. We'll record in 2017, but the next show that goes live, right? Or will we not?
Yeah, no, you're right. Probably.
Yeah, the next show that goes live will be January 2nd of 2018, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
So just to not make this as confusing as it can be, like I am, basically this episode will be the last for a reset, and then we'll be back.
We'll be back.
So, yes.
And, you know, things will be fine while we're gone.
Yes. We hope you guys miss us, but
Life
not too
will continue.
much. You know we'll be back.
Yes, absolutely. A quick announcement about clan business.
Yes.
If you aren't in a clan still, if you are on the waiting list, go back and check that. We have some notes for some of you. Either sometimes it can be not an exact science to find you on Bungie.net and send an invite. I've had a couple issues with that. And sometimes we can't track you down in Discord either, because we're not sure of what your Discord name is, or some of you aren't even in Discord. So, also we would ask for you to join the Discord and put your Discord username, by your, Bungie.net or gamer tag on the waiting list so that we can reach out if we have any trouble finding you.
Yeah, we've added a Discord column, like Cyborg mentioned, and we've also added a notes column. So if you're on the waiting list and you haven't been invited yet, go check it out, because you could have a note to contact a clan leader.
Yeah, so. And we're going to be going through and making sure we get as many invites out as we can if you're on the list. Sometimes folks depart the clan, and there's been times we didn't even realize we had open spots. We just didn't put two and two together to think and go and look and invite somebody. So if you're waiting, we'll make sure that we clean that up, get you guys into some clans. we know you're going to want that super awesome loot and an experience with other Guardians. So
we've made it pretty good ways through the list. We were checking it this week, and we've got some new names on there, but we're getting down through it. So if you're not on there and you want to be in a clan, go ahead and jump on there because it shouldn't be too long. Too long at all. So third announcement, third and final. We've got to give a shout out to Dirt Fam member Dropkick Hoonigan.
Yep.
He is awesome. He's wanting to give back to the fam. He sent us very kindly 3 $50 Amazon cards to give away. Right. So, Cyborg, how are we going to do this with Mr. Hoonigan?
So you guys probably getting to know the drill around here. We do these giveaways. This is a concept we've done a couple times. So here's what we want you to do. We would like you to nominate someone else to receive a $50 gift card. And the way you can do that is by emailing us. And what we want you to tell us is the name or gamer tag of a fellow gamer that you've played with this year that has impacted you in a positive way. Let us know who they are and how they've done something for you that has been positive in your life or in the game, whatever. And let us know why they should get a $50 Amazon card. And we're going to go through and 3 lucky nominated people are going to win a $50 Amazon card. And we're going to announce that the following week while we're off. We will do this the 26th. So you've got until Christmas Day, the 25th, to send in your nomination. And on the 26th on Twitter, we will let everybody know who the 3 winners are. And we'll probably email you as well. But keep your eyes peeled there. And that'll be a cool thing for some 3 people that have done something very nice for other people this year.
Yeah, for sure. If you can too, if you know they have a Twitter handle or something, throw that in the email. Otherwise, we may email you back and ask for it if they happen to win. Talk about holiday spirit. Somebody throwing up some gift cards just because they're nice, and then we turn around and throw it out this way. It's going to be great, man.
Lots of generous Guardians.
Yes, definitely.
All right. I think that's all the announcements this week.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of news.
Oh, man. This is nothing but links in our news section.
What's new? There's always a lot of news. Let's get right into it. This week at Bungie, we delivered Masterworks.
Here they are.
Masterworks indeed. I'm actually surprised how popular this concept is. Not putting it down, but like people are into it, trying to collect these Masterworks.
I'm right there with it.
It's cool. One of the first days I was playing like a strike this reset, and there was a Guardian running around with a sword that was Masterworks and just popping out orbs like crazy. I was like, this is awesome. So update 1.1.1.1 brought some cool stuff to the table, including Masterworks, and we're going to talk about some of those patch notes, but go check them out. Have you gotten any cool Masterworks this week, man?
Yeah, dude. I started off by I watched More Consoles video, and he dropped 1,500
gunsmith
weapon
materials.
Parts. Yeah, gunsmith materials, and he got a couple, and I'm like, oh man, this is before I got on.
Yeah.
The drop rates are not looking good, and then it actually. Man, I tell you what, I don't know if the game knows how much time you put into it, because, I play here and there, but obviously it's not as much as some of those guys. And I've gotten 4 already. I got several on console, and I got 1 on PC, but I put less amount of time on my PC character. But, dude, I got the Scathe to drop, which
nice. I'll take that.
Yeah, man. And I've been really... I've been really having a blast in PvE. I have not, believe it or not, guys, I don't even know if I've played a match of Crucible, maybe one or two in the last 2 weeks. Like I've been bitten by the PvE bug ever since we ran that raid at the Dirt Fam meetup. So I've been like working on my PvE builds and stuff. And dude, Masterworks, I gotta say, like I was like, this will be good for a little bit and we'll see what they bring us in 2018. But there definitely can be some more depth added to this, no question, and I'm sure that's their plan, and they've even hinted at armor being included, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
I think Barrett sent out a tweet or something.
Yeah, he had some comments, saying like, yeah, I'd like to see that too.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, I even found myself in the tower inspecting. I saw another dude, and I haven't done this in a while. I'm like, man, his armor looks cool. Inspected, and then I'm like, ooh, he's got a masterwork. Ooh, what's the perk? Ooh,
right.
Like it just adds that layer it brought
back that just that chase, that a lot of people missed. I think just that little bit, even though it's not incredibly significant, it just brings that chase and that thrill to all your drops, at least gun wise.
Yeah, it really does. And then it's like if you can't get the drop you want, because of course there's several that I want. You just grind out those cores, and that's definitely a grind right now. It's 1 to 3, but usually 1 and maybe 2, and then you can upgrade, your legendary of choice, So I don't know. It's for right now. This is an excellent step. Like it is definitely, I logged in with Curse of Osiris, and we'll chat more in Reset, but I already kind of started feeling like with Curse of Osiris, I'm like, man, okay, there's many things to do. I know we still got some quality of life stuff we're looking for, but then Masterworks drops, and it's like, okay, I'm having those moments where I'm like, what do I want to do right now? Like there's several things I can do.
It definitely added some fun to the week, past launch week.
Right. Yeah.
They gave it a little bit, some newness to the week. And man, I didn't think about it, but I dropped probably like 200 or 300 weapon parts last week, like trying to get new guns and stuff. And I'm like kicking myself now. Yeah. Thinking, I could have, but, from what I've read, like people putting together data and stuff, it seems like maybe a 10% or so drop rate from the gunsmith. So
I've been getting several from those clan Ingrams as well.
Yeah. And
a couple of mine.
Trials of the 9 has a very high drop rate. And the raid has higher drop rates as well in those, and so those are definitely the activities you want to play where you can get a much better chance, which is great because if you can do that in-game activity, like it gives you a little extra incentive to play those, knowing that you got a good chance of getting those masterworks even just for the cores. So it gives you a better way to grind those out,
Yep. Yeah, it's it. You know what? It's a good first step with the Masterworks. It definitely could have some more depth, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it right now, and it excites me for what we might see moving forward, and get that grind back in the game.
Of excitement.
Oh, you're gonna talk about it?
So excited about this announcement in the TWAB.
Oh man,
this coming reset, I assume, or they said next week. This is going to be this current week. If you're listening. Bungie's launching a webcomic series starting with an Osiris and Ikora origin story, Fall of Osiris.
So exciting. This is just like out of left field, dude.
Right, and this is
we're getting closer to my novel.
I mean, we've talked about this format of storytelling being really high on our wish list for a long time. I think that we want books more than anything, but I think a comic or graphic novel is just as great. And so this is super exciting. And I know that for all the big lore nerds out there, they're salivating right now.
yeah, for sure.
So let me read this quick blurb. Margaret Stahl, Destiny 2 narrative director, who currently writes Marvel's The Mighty Captain Marvel, notes, Destiny's first ever original comic short is written by Eisner-winning New York Times best-selling writer Ryan North, in collaboration with our own super talented Destiny 2 Curse of Osiris narrative lead Christine Thompson, with interior art by Destiny community fan favorite Zay Carlos. And they give us a peek at the cover by Marcio Takara.
Dude, my first thought was like, okay, are we gonna have a printed version of this on the Bungie store, please?
That's what I was wondering. And since it's gonna be digital for free, and available on Bungie.net, but I would think that if it does well, I would be very surprised if they didn't do like a limited series print version, you know? Or maybe if they get to the end of the story or something, I don't know.
Throw it together, yeah.
I would love to have them.
Surely. Yeah.
Love to have them. So really exciting, and just the opportunity to see some real story and some backstory into these characters, especially with Grimoire not being as, Grimoire not being a thing at all. And the lore, there is lore in the game, but it's limited, So this is really exciting if you're into the story and into the myths and legends around Destiny 2. So I can't wait.
We've been waiting for this for a while. Some version of this.
Yes. This is great. Finally, an announcement of when the Dawning will arrive. They're really like tight-lipped about when this was going to start. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
But either way, the Dawning kicks off, and there's a whole separate blog post for the Dawning. We know it kicks off this reset when you're listening, and it's going to go through, I believe, January 9th. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's 3 weeks.
Or basically on that reset that happens January 9th is when it'll end. So we'll go through those notes in a minute. They go on and talk about, they had some other posts about how they're going to be handling like in-game stuff. This was kind of this was something that I brought up last week on the show about accessibility to certain content. And they put up a separate blog post on December 11th titled Expansion and Season Access Update. And long story short, they basically come out and say, look, it's clear we've made some mistakes with how we've handled content access. And they kind of lead through like the decision-making process of how they did that. And it seems we were on the right track with what their intention was, that they really wanted to keep in-game activities relevant as expansions come. And obviously they had some trouble doing that, but also keeping certain content accessible to those that didn't buy expansions. So they're making some changes, and they made them pretty quick. I think they pushed out a hot fix, and here's what they did. The Prestige Leviathan raid was brought back down to power 300, and its rewards dropped down to match that power level. All players regain access to the Prestige raid. So that fixes issues with achievements and also the ability to complete the raid exotic shotgun. Trials only requires the expansion when it features that map. So other weeks it's available. All the, I guess you could call it vanilla rewards, are still accessible. New seasonal rewards like ornaments require the expansion. The Prestige Nightfall will remain what they call a pinnacle activity at 330 power cap. So that means it does require Curse of Osiris expansion. So to get that achievement, the Prestige achievement, you're going to have to do the Prestige raid now. It does make it more difficult, but it is possible.
Right.
And then they detail, moving forward, we're investigating adding a third difficulty to all Prestige activities so that we can provide both a challenge that stays relevant with each new expansion and a Prestige version that is available to all players. So, then normal Nightfall only requires Curse of Osiris when it's the Curse of Osiris map. Time-limited events like Iron Banner, Faction Rally, and the Dawning are available to all players. But, unfortunately, they postponed Faction Rally to ensure that all players can access it. I guess we're not going to see this again until next month.
Yeah, I guess not. Probably either. Yeah, especially with the Dawning coming up in 3 weeks.
Which was a little disappointing, but with the release of Masterworks and grinding for Osiris weapons, I had plenty to do anyways.
Yeah. This particular thing, man, I mean, it started popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
Bungie locks content you paid for with the vanilla Destiny 2 behind DLC paywall, boom, 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 articles, this and that. It's like Destiny's just turned in. They know it's gonna get clicks. It's like,
oh yeah.
Unfortunately for Bungie, I mean, take it as a compliment, take it as a dang, this stinks, but like it just generates conversation. And I just have to say, like, with all the stuff that started popping up on the community, it's like, guys, okay, this is an example of excellent communication. I get maybe some people have a hard time seeing that this was an oversight on their part. I'm sure a lot of this was talked about. Okay, guys, let's do this. Let's do this. You know, we can bring some content forward here. Yeah, we're going to lock this out. And I agree to an extent. It's like, how could you think that certain aspects of this was a good idea? But I completely look at this as, I mean, especially with this post, guys, we made a mistake. This is what we're doing, and then this is what we're going to do going forward, and this is how it will be. We're going to give you access. We were wrong to structure it this way, and it's like, this post is amazing. Like this,
oh, absolutely.
It took a little, because I even tweeted at DMG, and I was like, hey, you know, like, this is mustering, you know, like, communication is really important right now, because this just mustered for like a week in the community.
Yeah,
if not a little longer. Yeah. Which, you know, a week in hindsight, it's like, okay, they're processing it. They're realizing, okay, all right, what's the solution? And I just have to say,
technically, I'm looking at it 6 days after the expansion release, they put out.
Yeah, man. And like, and then I immediately started seeing, you know, some things after this, like, oh, really? The prestige is going back down. And it's like, you think about like a normal work environment. Like, this is what I think about. There's so many different facets to any industry, any company. And you try to think of every angle, and you can't always do that. And I'm not saying that, you know, a lot of things or some things can't be an oversight, but to me, like this, I don't know how they could have handled this much better. There were things that they didn't recognize, things that they didn't maybe structure in hindsight the way they would have if they could have gotten some feedback in the first place. But 6 days later, they're like, okay, guys, we understand. This is what we're doing. This was our goals. But this is how we're going to adjust it, and this is what we're going to do going forward. I can't ask much more from Bungie. This is amazing to me. I mean, this is the kind of communication that they need to continue. They are continuing it. They're proving it.
Yeah,
and not only that, they threw it out in that 1.1.1.1.
Yeah,
and boom. There you
I
go.
was immediately very pleased that they responded to this very, very quickly. And not just with a written response, but with an action. They took action to correct it. And luckily, it was something that they could correct quickly. You know, they didn't have to like write new code to fix this problem, thankfully.
Right.
But, you know, I think really that, you know, they explained their thought process. And I think, in not in a way that was malicious, but I really think that they assumed that perhaps people would not care as much because for one, you know, people brought up this argument. This is something that happened in Destiny 1 for several years. And, I think that they expected people to be okay with that being the norm. And they were trying to answer a problem that players have had, that they wanted this stuff to stay relevant. And so they made a bet on that, and it kind of bit them in the butt. And, but they addressed this really fast, and I'm so pleased that, with the way that they handled this. And, like you said, I'm pleased with the communication.
I agree with the player perspective. Certain things get all of a sudden behind the DLC paywall, and I'm not saying, that viewpoint is very valid. My thought was, there's a lot of moving parts to this game, a lot of stuff going on, and I think it is possible, for things, little facets to maybe be, grazed over a little more quickly than they would probably like to put some more attention on it. And then, something goes out and it's not, the community provides feedback, which we're going to do, which we should do. And this communication is what they told us they were going to do. So up to this point, they're committed to it. And I'm really impressed. Like you said, like this, I was really impressed with this post. And like you said, once again, the immediate resolution thrown in the patch right away. Boom.
The only thing I'm disappointed in is how people reacted to the correction. And specifically, I saw multiple people on Twitter and different places voicing their opinion on this, but the prestige raid being dropped down, some people were disappointed because they're saying, well, I can't use that to progress. And their attitude was like, now because of this minority that complained, I have to deal with losing this progression that they put in. And I don't think that people need to be upset with other people for voicing, hey, this isn't cool, this impacts me in a negative way. If you're upset, be upset that Bungie didn't figure out a better system for this.
And I guess,
not saying be bad at Bungie. I'm just saying, if you're disappointed, don't be disappointed at the people that voice their concern. Be disappointed that Bungie hasn't figured out a better way to do this, because there's a solution. They just have to work out the right way to do it.
And I'm assuming that was their statement about finding a third difficulty level, maybe keep one at 300.
We've talked about this before. I just don't understand why they didn't just do normal, heroic, prestige.
Yeah.
We're like, why did heroic go away?
Yep.
And
I think this does
add
validity to the raid layers. Like, you were explaining a couple weeks ago about, it's cool that they're building onto these raids, and it made me appreciate it even more. And it does allow them to keep the content relevant, like they say, and the community said that we wanted. So they do need to figure out a way to do this through expansions, whether it's 3 difficulty levels, whatever it is. And like you said, that is something they need to figure out. That
and they'll figure it out.
Criticism.
And I'm just glad that they have that as a priority, that the stuff will be brought forward. And over time, over a couple of years, that makes a big difference in the amount of content that you can play that's relevant,
Right. Yeah.
So anyways, one last thing they mentioned as well, I thought was a nice little extra statement. They said, moving forward, we're also looking to improve on heroic strikes with new challenges, new modifiers, and free access for all players. So right now, heroic strikes, that's another thing that they added, that you have to have the expansion for. But, icing on the cake, they're saying, we're not done with them. We're trying to, and this was something that we, I talked with different friends, and we were talking about, they miss modifiers or, XYZ, and we're going to have that coming as well. With heroic strikes, man, it's like the masterworks. These little things do so much. Like I have not ran as many strikes, I don't think, as I have this week in Destiny 2 in the past 4 months. But
yeah, dude,
they've been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've ran more than my norm
So
amount
many
of strikes
strikes
this week as well. Yep. And heroic strikes is something we were used to. That's a criticism, it's like, and even the modifiers. They have modifiers in adventures, heroic adventures right now. So it's like, they gotta get those heroic strikes back with some modifiers and things like that. And we're headed in a good place. We're getting back to some things we're used to. We're getting new stuff like Masterworks. So I think it's crucial, man. This kind of communication really needs to continue outside of the TWAB, inside of the TWAB, however they want to do it. Not just, with community feedback, even if they're not getting a lot of negative feedback, which who knows when that may or may not happen. Throw some stuff in the TWAB about what they're working on, what they're doing. Keep it going.
Right.
Yeah.
A couple other things before we wrap up the TWAB. This is the last weekly update for 2017. They'll be back in 2018. I think this is about the time of year when they shut down for a week or two, or at least their skeleton crew, I think. Everybody's taking off for the holiday and such.
Speaking of communication, they already warned us a couple weeks ago. We're going into the holidays, guys. We're going to keep the communication up, but it's the holidays.
Yeah, I think they're coming back probably like the first or second week of January, they said. Some of the notes in Destiny Operations Center, Destiny Player Support, there's some known issues. Here's one really important one you should pay attention to. Masterwork weapon cores are not getting sent to the postmaster if you've got a full consumable inventory. Now that doesn't happen a lot, but it's possible, so make sure that you've got room there if you're dismantling these, especially as rare as they are.
And my mods and shaders are definitely full.
Those
I had to
fill
put
up
some in my
like
vault.
crazy,
Yeah, but my consumables are good.
Yeah, so that was an important one. And that's most of the TWAB. We've got so much other stuff to talk about. We'll skip ahead here. Let's talk about the Dawning first.
Let's do it.
They got a whole blog post, really cool quote from Ikora about our light and et cetera, but cool stuff we'll be able to do for the Dawning. Snowball fights. There's going to be snowball piles everywhere you look, in the tower, at the farm, in strikes.
Patrol? Oh, just strikes, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just strikes. You can blast an enemy with a snowball to stun them and deal big damage.
Dude, when I read that, I was like, that is really cool, but I'm really surprised they did it because I feel like something could go wrong here. Like,
I sure hope not.
Like constant stuns and like totally break strikes.
But these are going to look, like your typical energy balls that you pick up for different activities in the game. But they just look like little snowballs, big snowballs, really. But even bigger news, Mayhem is coming back to the Crucible.
This was a surprise, man.
This is going to be great. Mayhem's
of course,
back,
there's been
abilities
instant
recharge.
jokes. Instant it's going to be Destiny 1. I'm sure you've heard that one.
It might be accurate, to be honest with you, as far as abilities. With point values cranked up as well. So that'll be cool. I don't know if it's going to be, they just say in the Crucible. So am I to assume that, both quick play and competitive are just Mayhem for 3 weeks? Or do you think? I don't
know, man. I figured there'd be like maybe a node like down on the bottom now.
Yeah. Maybe they'll have a separate playlist. I don't know.
Yeah, surely they'll have
I don't care. I'm going to play that all week.
I agree, man. Like it took me a while to warm up to Mayhem and Destiny 1, but yeah, I'll definitely be playing some Mayhem. For sure.
And then we've got milestones. Every week, complete a milestone for a Dawning engram. Get in the giving mood with new consumables that give rewards to everyone you're playing with. If there's a specific Dawning item that you have your heart set on, Tess will refresh your inventory each week, enabling you to use your Bright Dust reserves for your holiday shopping. So, as far as I know, somebody was saying they read through this and it seems like you'll get 2 a week, but I have to assume you could get 1 per character each week.
Which isn't a lot.
Not a lot.
Now, you can buy those, like they said.
You'll be able to buy the items individually.
Yeah, and you can buy the consumable to give rewards to everyone you're playing with. Honestly, I think they're doing that in Strikes now, which we'll get into in the Crucible. I think that is a really cool thing to get a reward from another Guardian, even if it's someone that just happens to be in your fire team and you're running solo. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those.
That Eververse, Tess is doing this, but you have to actually purchase those. With Bright Dust, so it's a little bit different.
And then they'll have a mechanic where you pick up a Dawning gift schematic from the bazaar.
This one confused me a little bit.
The bazaar is over near Ikora. I believe, where you venture to other worlds and craft a unique gift for the vendors and agents you find in the tower and beyond. Give the lucky gift recipient their gift and receive a gift in return. So it sounds like we're going to pick up a schematic, go on a fetch quest, install some stuff. It creates an item. You give the item to the vendor, and the vendor gives you something in return.
Yeah, it just confused me because, I mean, now, reading it again multiple times now, it sounds like we'll just do this for the vendor once through the entire event and however many vendors that you can do this for. And now who knows if we'll get
that's what I imagine.
An armor or weapon reward, or if we're just going to get like celery rewards, again or something. Like I saw that brought up again this week.
Festival of the Lost.
Yeah, something like that.
I would think it's like stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's stuff.
Something,
I don't know.
If it's something from the
Maybe they'll
Dawning,
have some unique stuff,
Yeah, if it's something from the Dawning inventory in addition to the milestone one, I mean, that's pretty substantial.
Would be cool. That would be cool. I would feel good about that. But I guess we'll find out. There's a lot of ways they could do that. So it starts December 19th, ends January 9th. Oh, there's unique Dawning armors for each class available through the Eververse. That's something I forgot to mention. So they show that off. Not really.
A lot of people wanted to see SRL.
Yeah.
That didn't come up.
Yeah.
That's
I honestly was not expecting SRL to come back.
Yeah.
Anytime
it's
soon.
weird. Yeah, I would have thought by now. So it is. I'm definitely wondering what they're doing with that little piece.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I wonder if it's something that's not going to come back for
just
a
scrapped.
while. I don't know if they'll scrap it 100%, but I just have this feeling that they might save it for like next year, like later next year or something. I don't know.
If they do bring it back, I really think what they need to do is not throw us in separate instances of a race. I'm sure we've talked about this before. They need to just throw us out in patrol with boundaries while other Guardians are doing their thing. That would make it so immersive.
As opposed to a track?
Yeah, we would only be able to see like the boundaries, like what we need to go through, like it was actually on the racetrack. But there's people just doing
so you could, like, watch
heroic public events and stuff.
Fly by
how cool would that be?
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be awesome.
I like it. Oh, there's also going to be ice hockey in the Dawning, as opposed to soccer.
Yeah. Yep.
This could be fun. So, play in the snow for a few weeks and do the Dawning. If you've never seen the Dawning, it's it's nice. Looks like there's going to be snow in the tower too.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing stuff at the farm too, because I really want reasons to go back to the farm.
I need a real reason to go to the farm.
I know, that's what I was going to say, other than an event like this, but at least it's taking us back there. It's just, I think that space is cool enough to have a reason to go back.
Do you think Eva Levante is going to show up?
I don't know.
We haven't seen her.
Yeah,
Destiny 2.
People have been talking about her.
This would be a good time for her to show up.
Yeah. For anybody wondering, too, we are saving the Eververse conversation for a later episode.
There's stuff to be said, but it needs its own episode.
Yes.
And especially we want to see how the Dawning turns out. This is going to be very pertinent to the conversation. So.
Definitely.
All right. So that's the Dawning. Everybody have a great time next week, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Happy Dawning.
Yeah. Happy Dawning. There were some patch notes, the Destiny 2 update that dropped December 12th. Of course, they made the changes to encounters that we talked about. There are some miscellaneous stuff, bug fixes, etc.
Yeah, the power level one was interesting. I guess people were having problems leveling to 300 if they didn't have Curse of Osiris. I hadn't heard that one. There's always a bullet or two or more in here. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize.
It's like,
yeah.
I think, of course, we talked about this a lot in Destiny 1, but there's algorithms that obviously impact your progress at certain levels, I believe. And we've kind of like tried to dissect that some. So it seems like there was something in the progression between 289 and 300 that was probably there in Destiny 2 vanilla.
Yeah.
That had to change, Yeah.
And I hinted towards it earlier, and this just kind of reminded me, I use that whole work analogy, like as far as industry or your workplace. And it's like, this is an example, man. Like let's say you update your work's website. like and people log into a profile, like you don't know just in that simple regard, like what all that could affect your clients and your consumers. You try to anticipate it, but like this is an example for me. What I was trying to get across is there's so many moving parts to this game and things that people should still have access to, things that they can't really anymore. There's these new weapons. How's Zur gonna act? Like, will they be able to do this? And will this power level still, yada yada yada. And it's like, to think about everything, and it's their job, they've got teams that are supposed to be thinking about these things, but everything they have to think about when an expansion releases is just baffling. We can't even begin to think about all the different things, For
sure, because we don't even know what the systems are.
Right, yeah, right. So, just to kind of put it into perspective.
But we know there's a lot.
Yeah.
Here's a big one. Cade's stash chests now grant rewards via the loot stream to prevent items from disappearing into the ground. That
I had to read that a couple times, but that just
means
it's going to pop up on their screen, right?
Yeah, like it drops like directly to your character.
Falling through the ground.
Problem solved. And I haven't seen any empty chests from Cade this week, so there were 3 on Mercury to pick up.
Yeah.
And then there was one for PC players where they fixed an issue with cannons not working properly. Basically, if you're playing over 60 FPS, you would get shot out of a cannon and it would not send you where you're supposed to go, apparently. And you would die. So that problem is fixed. Looking through some of this other stuff, I'm trying to pick some of the bigger items. They made some changes to faction rallies, even though those are not active. You can no longer loot the same chest multiple times in quick succession, so that is just completely patched out. You're not going to be able to cheese that anymore. Even though it was fun. Yeah. Let's see. They added Masterworks. We talked about that. They made some changes to drop rates with engrams that I find interesting. Legendary and exotic engram drop rates have been adjusted down for public events and up for Strike and Crucible playlist activities. So my guess is that they're making this adjustment, positive for things like Strike and Crucible.
Where you have to invest a little more time.
Yeah, down for public events, which, you've always said you haven't even gotten exotic in public events.
Not many at this point still, probably less than 5.
Yeah. But I feel like some of this might have been related to them knowing that 3 coins was going to be live. Which we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, with which it's down a couple bullet points, but like we'd already mentioned, the gift consumables that Zavala and Shaxx have now, you can pop for your whole fire team.
And you buy those with legendary shards, right?
Yeah, legendary shards. Yeah. I think it's 10 at the Vanguard, and I think it's 25, because I was gonna buy a couple for each, and I popped one for Crucible, and I'm like, ugh. Okay, I think I'll hold on to a few for right now. Okay,
yeah, so it's 10 shards at the Vanguard. You're right. That's 25 expensive.
Yeah, 10's not too bad, but
they said they were gonna give us ways to spin marks.
Yeah, but I gotta say, man, like I had to save a video of mine because I ran a couple strikes, like my initial couple, and dude, the loot, like you said, you do get a lot of blues and stuff, but like when somebody already popped the gift, which is really cool to get gifts from your fire team, like I said, and then you did, and then you get, you pop those, you get 5 more tokens, and then all the tokens you got, and then you go back. It's nice now to go back to Zavala and actually be able to fully level up that bar after a strike or two. Like it's and then I got an exotic and I got a legendary. Like it definitely feels right now, at least in what I played this week, the last couple weeks, it feels a little more worth your time, to do it. And then you throw in the Masterworks in the mix and you could get that dropped as well. Yeah. Yeah, you can get a pretty good chance at those dropping from vendors as well. Speaking of Zur, he's selling 3 coins again. It's a 4-hour consumable. You don't have to pop it over and over. I think they're 3 legendary shards a piece. Which I guess we can just mention right now that apparently they're broke. Yeah, ramblings in the community is that they're not working as intended. They do not work. Yep. So maybe save your shards for now. They're looking at it. That's it's funny, man, because 3 coins were always an issue in Destiny
One.
Dude, do you remember,
it took
was
like
it
a
Winter's
year for
Run?
them to get them right, yeah.
Where you pop it and just kill the boss over and over again. Those
It
are
was a
those
mission,
experiences,
right?
man.
Was that the name of the mission?
And you would go to the end, fight the boss, but
kill yourself when he died.
Right after, yep.
Yeah.
And then you'd load right back in to fight him again. This is Prometheus Lens. Like these are the things you have to experience while playing Destiny. They're the little like blips in the timeline of playing this game that you just experience.
Yep. So sorry if you wasted your monies.
Don't do it anymore.
Yeah. Don't spend any more monies there.
Patch it.
Yeah. And then he's selling the Fated Engram. We were talking about this for the show. 97 legendary shards for a chance at an exotic you don't have. Now, I've heard that this needs some work as well because people were getting duplicate exotics.
Yep. I had to buy one while we were chatting before the show, and I got Jade Rabbit, which I do not have. And I
super jealous. Yeah, I want to get it.
I haven't got to use it yet in D2, but definitely have it now.
Yeah, and I was telling you, so I was talking with my buddies that got to Xur before I did, and they both got the new Crimson exotic hand cannon, aka the Red Death hand cannon, and I really wanted it. And they were like, let's go try to get you one. So we fly into the tower, and we did a slow walk all the way to Xur. They escorted me on either side, and then they both like knelt down next to him and equipped their Crimson hand cannons. And I bought the engram, got the Crimson.
Dude, it's so cool.
Crazy.
That's those moments, man. Those are those moments.
It's got to be
so
weighted,
cool.
though. Like, the new stuff has to be weighted, it seems.
You kind of you guys just built up your own hype there. Like, the game didn't really do it for you. And then it just makes it that much sweeter when it
comes through,
drops.
You're like, this is amazing.
Exactly.
It's really tempting to go buy another one, though, because, I want the Jade Rabbit. I don't know.
Dude, I've shot through so many shards this week. But
you got to make sure... if you're buying it, make sure you're using a character that doesn't have all of the armor exotics already, because if it goes by your class, it's not account wide apparently. So if you're on your hunter and you have all the hunter armor exotics, you have a chance at getting a duplicate armor exotic. So you got to pay attention to that.
So many things.
All these little intricacies to get this stuff to work right. Prometheus Lens you brought up. Of course, the great Prometheus nerf has occurred.
Yes. It's not as bad. People kept saying, even after the patch, I was watching some
It's not terrible.
It's horrible in PvE, but it's really not too bad. Of course, in PvE,
it's not as effective as it was.
Yeah. They'll definitely, I guess, is what they're saying is they'll take a look at it and make it probably more effective in PvE or do something.
Fix that problem.
I love those guns though, man. I always liked Cold Heart and up to this point, and I don't know what it is, but I do like that gun type for PvE. Like it's fun to use.
Oh, beam rifles are a blast, man. I love beam rifles.
I've been using the are they trace rifles? Is that like the old Queensbreaker's bow? Is that
what they're called? I think
or linear fusion.
Linear fusion. There we go.
Yeah, dude, I had one of those drop, like Curse of Osiris drop, and I started using it. Never really used them. Those are fun to use in PvE too, man. Like they do some damage.
They are. Yeah. Trace rifle is what I'm calling a beam rifle.
Yeah, that's the
Cold Heart and Prometheus Lens.
Yeah,
and then
the linear fusion is the heavy. Yep.
It's tough to get all these old terms out of your head. Yeah. And then the ones we make up to call stuff too. It's like, and then another change, which I think is great this week, faction vendors now offer legendary gear for direct purchase with legendary shards and faction tokens. So if you're trying to complete a set, they all do have requirements, mostly to do with having got a certain number of vendor packages already, I think. But now you can pick up stuff that you're missing. And it's also nice because, if there's a set that you don't want to keep around, you can dismantle it and you can always go back and get it again.
Right.
If you got the money, if you got the moolah. So that's all the new patch notes this week. Did you play any of the new Crucible maps?
In the game or two I played, I want to say I did play one of them. I can't remember.
I haven't
which
gotten
one
any
now,
of
though.
them to come up yet. So
Yeah.
I heard there's a arcology one, which sounds really exciting. And then
I can't remember if I got one to come up or not. I'm kind of thinking of Strikes too, because I ran through the content on PS4 and PC, and then I went to do my heroic strikes, and I'm assuming it's coded this way, but maybe not. But I got both new strikes to come up immediately.
See, I've only gotten
so
one of the strikes to come up.
Yeah. They were my first two on PS4 were
you just got lucky. I think
there's no way to that's the thing I did too, is after I beat the story, I like looked for some ways to access them, and I'm like, I didn't, I'm like, usually
you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
Too. It's weird.
Yeah, you just have to hit the heroic strikes. I thought that was interesting.
I hope they add in just some kind of strike selection.
Something, yeah.
If here's what's on my wish list. If they do private matches in their custom games, I hope that they do the same thing but with strikes.
Right.
Like,
cool.
I would love to load up the exact strike I want and be able to set what the modifiers are.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea.
I think it would be fun. And have rewards tied to it. Like, you could do stuff like that, and it wouldn't be quite like what was it? Was it ODST? Not ODST. Halo Reach, that had the survival mode. I can't remember what it was called. Firefight.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just totally control everything. This map, these modifiers, etc., etc. If they could do something like that for strikes, I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would be cool, yeah. And then figure out, of course, in private matches, the rewards were down, but with strikes, you could almost be a little more rewarding.
Base it on, if it's heroic and it has XXX modifiers, you could, kind of like heroic
Dude, you're
strikes.
basically, I never really thought about it that way, but you're basically doing like an endless loot, like a rift in Diablo. I mean, if we can go in and set it up like that and just run strike after strike with our fire team, and they do actually figure out a way to reward us, that's an answer to some sort of endless wave based. I mean,
I think it would be cool. I think the only risk is people finding a way to break or cheese certain strikes with certain modifiers, and you turn it into a farm, Yeah. So they just it would have to be really rigorously done, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's a nice idea. But I think that's all the news this week, man.
Yeah, I think we covered it.
So much news.
So many tabs.
Lots of tabs were open. So yeah, man. How was your reset?
Dude, last two resets, fantastic. I didn't get a lot of playtime in the week that Curse of Osiris dropped. I did beat the story. I spent most of my time on PS4. I was telling you before the show, I don't know if it's because I'm not trying to balance two console versions of the game, but I have been like trying to keep equal my PS4 and PC character. I'm only running one character on each.
Oh, okay.
So not multiple characters. I made that decision a while back, especially if I ever decide to come over to Xbox to play with some people. Like, I'm just going to do 3 total, 1 across each platform. So it's not too hard to balance, but I beat the story, ran some strikes, did a heroic on PS4, and then I jumped over to my PC character, beat the story, kind of did the same thing. And I don't know, it's, I wasn't on last week, so just real briefly, I got to say, Curse of Osiris, like I said, when I first logged in, even before Masterworks, and this could fade away after a couple weeks without some of these quality of life patches, but it was exciting for a little bit because it's like, okay, what do I want to do? There's so many new things to do, new gear to get, and then you throw in the patch this week with Masterworks, and it's really starting to feel good. It's first steps. But I gotta say my feedback on Curse of Osiris.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it. As I honestly, it was on my radar as per the usual. I had a feeling the story wasn't gonna quite go as in depth as we all probably would have liked it to. It was a little side story kind of about what Osiris, where he's been, but not, it's just Rise of Iron.
Surface level, right?
Yeah, just, and you guys talked about it last week. So I always want more depth, and now at least we know we're going to get a little webcomic, but it would be cool to get, Osiris could be his own. I mean, he could be the sole focus of a Destiny 3, so it would just be neat to get a bit more depth in a DLC story line, if you will. But I gotta say, man, like overall, it's season pass. I'm pretty pleased with it. The only other criticism I would have is I really, really hope that we see more done with the Infinite Forest, because it seems like so much time was put into it, and there's so many assets in there that, for what it is right now, it could be so much more to me. And again, you guys talked about that last week, but I don't know, overall with these quality of life updates and new content, I mean, I'm thrilled, dude. I'm logging in this week running strikes. The heroic adventures you and I tweeted back and forth about, man, those heroic adventures are fantastic. They're daily. There's modifiers. They're hard. Like I'm not 330, of course, so I don't know what they would feel like there, but I'm, 310, 315. And dude, if they could figure out a way to do that with most of the others, and like you said, you tweeted me back and said, just make it the planet specific loot.
Yeah, if they could just tie some kind of meaningful reward system.
That's just another layer of reasons to grind, reasons to play. Then you throw, mechanisms or things in the game like Masterworks. I mean, we are on the right track for sure. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it. I haven't even completed a verse yet, though. We were talking about that a little bit.
They're real grindy, man.
Man, they are grindy. Even for what I've played over the last 2 weeks, I still, it's probably because I didn't stay and grind on one character. I jumped over to the other platform, so I still haven't even got 10 of those to drop into it. But you know what? Again, I'm logging in. I think maybe you and I were talking. I don't know if it was where it was, text or whatever it was, but they intentionally made those grindy. I mean, they are definitely grindy.
Yeah, it's an answer to a request that some players had. Like, they want something to grind for, and for me, it's been just enough. It's funny because I know that some of the weapons, they're not anything to write home about.
But you're a collector.
But yeah, I want to do them all. And
they look cool too. I mean, even if they're not substantial,
they do look really cool.
Performance, yeah.
I will give them that. They're beautiful looking. And then surprise, there's actually a quest that you can unlock through doing these that looks really cool. I don't want to spoil what that is for anybody if you're not paying attention to your favorite YouTuber or seen it. So it's a cool thing that if you're familiar with, stories and lore of Destiny, I was super, super excited to see this particular subject matter, because I brought this up beforehand. So that's a cool, those are the kinds of things, something just like that means a lot to me in the way that I play. Like being able to discover something that you've got to run across or earn your way, and they have something there for you, like specifically if you're doing these, that you can find that was a surprise. And that kind of stuff hits home for me, even if it's not, the coolest thing in the game. It really adds a lot of, depth to the game to me. And I'm grinding like every day at this game in a way I haven't done since it dropped.
Yeah.
For Masterworks, for these weapons, for the ornaments, like
and I saw some feedback Yeah, for sure. Like the people are like, the Masterworks, even with the slow drop rates, I heard some people in the community kind of mentioning, it's going to fade when you get your loadouts with your Masterworks. But you know what? It really is a delicate balance that they have to figure out. The verses with Osiris and the Masterworks. It's like we want to have reasons to log into the game. We want reasons to grind. We want reasons, to log in every day. Mm-hmm. But if they make it too grindy, they're instantly going to get feedback. And I got to say, like,
it's an economy of time spent in the materials and loot that all interact with each other.
Right.
That, it creates, like you're saying, that delicate balance that can be shifted very quickly one way or the other, depending on how things are balanced. Mm-hmm. Now even getting a bunch of legendary engrams, I'm excited because I could get a masterwork there.
Right.
If not,
it's not just another gun of a roll you got, yada, yada.
If not, I know that all those legendary shards that I had nothing to do with, I can spend those in a place that will, give me a happy return on that time spent,
Yeah, it's, and I gotta say the Masterworks, I don't know how they're doing it on the back end. I like I said, I've seen some YouTubers drop some materials and not get very many, but in the amount of time I've played, I'm happy with the drop rate. I'm happy that I can break them down if I want. I'm happy, if they can figure out a way to some of the feedback that I heard this week as well, some great feedback. If they can add even a little more depth to the system, because right now, we've got that randomly rolled stat. And I already know, like, I'm looking for stability on an auto rifle, and I'll probably roll one. If I don't get it, I'm looking for this. And if they can add even a little bit more depth, it didn't occur to me at first until I heard this, but they're kind of answering the question. They're keeping the static rolls in the game on perks that they want, but they're giving us this personal customization of our weapons and a story with our weapons, counting our kills. That's pretty basic, but you add a couple more layers to that. It's
got a ton of potential.
Yeah, man, and it feels good this week. I know it's early on. I know we're just 2 weeks in, but when you combine the new content, which we'll grind through, with these masterworks, with the promise of more things to come next year, like I'm excited about where it's going. It seems to be getting to what we were used to in year 3 Destiny 1 a lot faster than 3 years,
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It really is.
I agree.
I'm having a good time. Yeah. So, we got work to do. I mean, we still got things we'd like to see in the game. But I got to say, dude, too, I don't know if I'm a total noob or what, but my kiddo, I've gotten just in the last couple days, I'm like, hey, dude, you want to come open this engram for me? And he even grabbed my engrams off my shelf because he's associated
funny.
Ghosts and the engrams with it. So he's been when I get some, I've been letting him open the loot, and he got me Saint 14 on both platforms. I don't know if I'm a total
14,
noob. Yeah, dude, I didn't even realize, I don't know if I just grazed over it, but I didn't even realize that was being put in this expansion because I love that helm. I knew the other thing that we're not speaking of, but I guess it just never clicked that the helm was coming back. I didn't see it.
They never said anything. I mean, it's something you'd have to discover.
I'm so pumped because I immediately went and took a closer look at the Void build, and now I'm running Bubble Titan, man, throwing orbs down on my Masterwork Scathe and playing a supportive rolled Titan, and it is a blast, dude. It's so
funny.
Fun.
I was gonna bring that up too because I got it to drop a couple days ago, and so I was like, man, I want to go try this out. So I pop it on, go into strikes, get Sentinel, and I popped a bubble on the what's the name of the strike? It is the Hive one. Man, I can't, I'm drawing a blank on the name though, but it's one of my favorite strikes. So anyways, the one with the eye, the Savathun's
song.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. Yeah.
And so anyways, we're on the end part where the ogres show up. I was like, this is the time. pop my bubble, and I'm like drawing fire from everything, and my teammates are able to shoot, and then they like kind of mosey up there, and I could just tell they're like, holy crap, it's a bubble. Like,
like what?
Nobody uses Bubble Titan in Destiny 2, but now there's a reason, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's so cool. Then you throw your your half wall up. You got the instant reload. You got the bubble. You got the
It's a really
void
good
wall.
support.
Yeah, and it's always fun. I don't do it a lot in games, but every time I do play that supportive role, it's so fun to play that role.
Yeah.
You throw that half wall up, and you see your teammates run over, and they're using it. I don't know. I've been having a good time. It's
really cool too, because they added to the exotic perk that you can also use the blinding effect if you use your overshield. Or whatever. What is it called? It's not called an overshield, but it's called a. But when you hardly anybody uses it, but there's the defensive shield that you can put up in your super, where you can have people walk kind of to the side and behind you, and it'll shield you from damage. So if you have Saint 14 on, if enemies get in that area, it blinds them. And I think that has some utility that people are going to find. I want to play around with it. That could be really
it's so fun. Like you say, seeing the Bubble Titans. Dude, I even whipped out my Sunbreaker this week because I got that new helm that's got the Sunbreaker perk on it. And I don't know, like I said, I've been just going.
The Capri's Horn?
Yeah, the extremely ugly one.
Yeah, I played around with that one too. That was fun.
Yeah, like I haven't played Sunbreaker much. We haven't heard about too many great Sunbreaker builds unless you're Swain Stash. He always likes to rock
about that.
Sunbreaker. Yeah. So it's like I've been nerding out on PvE, believe it or not, guys. So I popped out the Sunbreaker, I put that on, and I realized they have a half wall that throws out fire damage. And I was having a blast with that, dude. Like, so I don't know, I don't know what's going on this week. These are, like I said, there's more quality of life work to be done, but dude, I'm having fun. Like I'm not even talking like with Curse of Osiris stuff, just toying with these builds and generating orbs on my masterwork weapon, and it's
well, I really
promising,
like
man.
when they do exotics, when I feel like they do them the best is when they're adding something unique to a build that you couldn't get otherwise, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
it's, you've always got like your exotics that kind of reinforce a particular playstyle or build, put this on, it gives you extra void energy or, whatever it is. But I find the most fun exotics are when they give you something unique that you can kind of lean into with your playstyle and your build, and it just makes it so much fun. Like you're just talking about with the Capri's Horn, like it's just cool to be able to say, okay, I need this barricade, but I know that when I throw it out, it's going to throw out this solar energy, so you can like position it so you're like pointing at a bunch of ads, and you throw it down, it protects you, but it also goes boom 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 and just like knocks a bunch of them down. It's just fun.
Yeah, and I forgot too when I was just talking about that the helm does that. I was thinking I hadn't played Sunbreaker very much, and it was actually a perk in the Sunbreaker tree, but no, it is the exotic.
No, it's
helm.
a unique.
You're right.
Yeah, it's a unique ability.
It's cool too when you throw it down, like you can just see it damaging them, and I don't know. It's like you said, it's.
I think
a really
it needs
neat perk.
it's really unique and cool. I think it needs some kind of a buff, a little bit of a buff.
Yeah, continuous, like at least half of the shield.
Because it just throws it out once.
Yeah.
If it could, I don't know, if it could be like a pulse or something. I'm not sure, but
I agree.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah. I got to revisit too, man. If you haven't done it yet, you need to do it with your kiddo. It's so cool to see him open those engrams, dude, and like, what did we get? What popped up on the screen? Because that's like his extent of playing Destiny. He just opens the loot, which is like the funnest part. So like, it's really fun. Like I played on, when I was leveling on PC, I just didn't go to the tower for a while. So I had like 3 or 4, bright engrams or illuminated or whatever they're called now, and then I had like 5 or 6 legendaries, so we just popped them all open, dude, and it's like just pure excitement.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, well, kids love that kind of stuff. They there's so many like little toys. Like my son loves to get these, I don't remember what they're called, but
oh dude, I know what you're gonna say.
They're like in a little egg
Mm-hmm. Or like we get the little Tonka ones that it's a mystery.
They have all different brands of this stuff.
Yep.
I mean, like yesterday we went grocery shopping and we were around electronics and he found a Mario Kart one. He was like, I want this, Dad. I was like, okay. Yeah. Like, I usually will like get them one.
And they're like 99 cents most of the time, or they're not too bad.
Sometimes they're like $3. So
yeah,
watch out.
That's true. That's true.
But anyways, they open it and they know there's some series of characters, but they don't know what's inside. And it's exciting because they get a surprise.
In real life loot
in
boxes.
one way, it's cool for them. In another way, it's totally training them for loot boxes, which is
it is, dude. You're right.
Just so depressing. But
and then they can get a duplicate, and they're like, "How does it not know?"
I know it's. Anyways, yeah, funny. No, I need to let them. I need to bring them in. Just
open the loot.
Do that sometime. Dude, cool. Yeah, I'm sure you'd get a kick out of it. But yeah, I'm glad to hear you're enjoying everything.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. It's there's more things to come, more things we'd like to see, but I'm glad to hear you're having fun in strikes and stuff too, man. It's fun to be talking about strikes.
One thing I noticed, and I don't know if this is a bug or what, it's keep it on the DL, but I'm totally telling everybody, go do patrols. I got 2 exotics to drop from patrol completion in a row.
Just a
back to back.
Good old kill the enemies to 100% patrol.
On Mercury, was doing patrols, did one, got an exotic, came back like a little while later, started doing some more roaming around Mercury, did a patrol, got an exotic. And I've seen a few other people like tweet about it too. So I don't know if there's an increased drop rate. I don't know what it is, but if you're on a public space, do some patrols, see what happens.
That's I'm gonna have to test that out.
It's hard not to. I mean,
you just reminded me too.
Simple.
I didn't even mention the, Mercury, no sparrows. Was thinking it was gonna be a little bit bigger, but I gotta say, I have played that public event many times, and I know there's only one, and I know it's whatever, but it's enjoy it. I enjoy it every time.
Yeah.
Now that I know everybody that I just randomly run into knows how to do it, I have a good time with it. I hope more have that scale to them.
Mercury being the flashpoint this week
that was
really made it filled out the space a lot. Like there's a lot going on in all the different corners that you can patrol. Without
the
flashpoint, it's kind of slow.
Is this flashpoint? Am I missing something? Does it spawn more bosses?
Somebody was pointing that out to me, that you don't really realize, but all the flashpoints do this, in that you see more majors and bosses and stuff. But I think with Mercury being so small and dense, I mean, you run into a yellow bar every corner.
Yeah.
And that does progress the milestone, like killing those majors and stuff. So you don't have to do just the public event to finish it. Because the public event timer, I mean, there's got to be like at least 10 minutes between them.
Yeah, I know. If I go, I'll pull it up sometimes, and it won't even be on the map. And I'm like,
takes a while.
I'll go run a strike.
Yeah.
So,
but I really enjoyed the flashpoint on Mercury this week. A lot of people were saying it's probably their favorite one.
Yeah. It's cool. I do hope the public events are more like that. I had to go run the Lost Sector, and it does stink we only got one of those. I mean, we gave them credit for giving us a patrol space and not some other thing. So, we got to say the patrol space isn't quite the level of a lot of patrol spaces, at least what we're used to. But at least the content inside of it is the public event and stuff is cool. So, if you can't get out your sparrow, you immediately know it's not quite.
Yeah, my only gripe, I guess, is like, I think the problem is it's really small.
Mm-hmm. Even if you go all the way around it,
if you're trying to get somewhere, it feels like it takes forever to get a very short distance.
Sparrow. It'll seem bigger.
I mean, that totally feels like what they're trying to do, but it's frustrating at times because sometimes I want to get way across the space and I got to jog for like 2 minutes to get there.
Yeah. And then you get the Callus style Vex standing there that you don't have to shoot, but it's but they're just standing there.
There's this one boss that's been popping up, the Terminus Keeper. And I haven't been able to figure out what the encounter is, but he just shows up. It's almost like on a timer, and it's a big Hydra with like a huge yellow bar. I mean, you've got to do some. You can't do it solo. It would have to take like 4 to 6 people to bring him down because he's only there for 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Like, as soon as you see him,
ran across him yet or not.
And it'll say something like his shields are depleted and he returns to the Infinite Forest. And so I've never been in there with enough people to show up and knock him out. So I don't know what happens if he just drops a chest, if it triggers something else. But it's interesting. I want to figure it out. It's like a little...
I know I've ran into several mini-bosses,
secret.
but I don't know...
there's another one where there's like imprisoned Scion Flayers that I've heard they're yellow bar and they each have a chance at dropping exotics. That's part of the miles of the Flashpoint. So it's cool. They built a lot of little things in there that you can find to do to get stuff. You just got to hang out and explore
for a little bit.
Yeah, you got to hang out for a while.
If I pull up it on the director and there's no patrol, there's no public event on the map, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something else for right now.
Yeah. Yep. I understand. What do you think about? I'm interested in your opinion. What do you think about Brother Vance now?
Well, I thought it was hilarious whenever you beat the story and he just goes on and on about how we met Osiris and he didn't. I thought that was entertaining. But as far as like, you mean him just being a vendor?
No, just the characterization.
Oh,
like to preface it, like there's some stuff that's kind of funny like that, but then it becomes really just overdone.
Yeah.
Like they turned him into like a sycophantic fanboy.
Yeah.
Where, in Destiny 1, when you did Trials of Osiris, he was like really mysterious.
Yeah.
Kind of just,
like, wait a second.
To himself. Now he's like, Guardian, tell Osiris I said hi. And you're like,
yeah.
All right, dude.
Like, hold on. I mean, to be honest, I probably haven't heard a lot of it because I immediately went to like do strikes and stuff like that. But I did, of course, hear enough throughout the story. And once it was
going back, it's just like...
Well, too, there was also that probably that little, more than little wish everyone had that I've heard people talk about this, is they wanted Osiris to end up somewhere. For us to
interact.
Go see him or be what Brother Vance is or something. So there's that piece of it too. We still got old Brother Vance. Standing there.
I don't know. I wish they had gone a different direction with it, but it's just interesting the way that they decided to characterize him. Just was wondering what your take on it was.
I'll have to go get some more.
Just go listen to him some
conversation.
More. Like, he gets pretty weird.
You wanted him to be like this,
really
like
cool,
cool, serious. Like, I don't have time to mess around. Like, just give me your tokens and get back out there.
I don't know. It's all good though. It's all good. One thing I was trying to do this week, kind of not related to gameplay, but we had talked about when they came out with this skill for Alexa. And you could set up the skill and do some things with the game through your device. And you don't have to have the limited edition speaker that is coming out. It comes out the 19th, I believe. Mine's getting here like the 21st, I think. But if you just have the device...
that is a question I have. Yeah, can you just download like that?
Yeah, you can
software
go
to
into
your
the Alexa app and you could add the skill. My problem is I can't get it to work. I have the skill added to my device, but it doesn't recognize any of the commands. It's almost like it doesn't have the skill, and I cannot figure out how to make it work.
You have to keep us posted on that.
I'm going to keep working on it.
Something many of us will end up with. We have an Alexa, but I haven't bought the Ghost case or whatever you want to call it.
So I bought just the Echo Dot, which is has been on sale for $30.
Yeah.
And put that in my office so I could play around with this feature, but I can't get it to work. I don't know. If you're out there, if you have had a similar experience, or if you've been able to get it to work, hit me up on Discord or Twitter or something. I'd like to know.
Help this dude. He wants to be able to say, equip my PvP loadout.
Yeah, man. I want to play with all these fun toys. I want to talk to Alexa.
Just have the ghost voice is excellent.
Yeah. I can't wait. So, but yeah, man, that was a lot of my reset. We kind of talked about it, but
yeah, I was gonna say any specifics on yours. Did you tell us what you think? Like, you asked me about Masterworks. I know you hit on a little bit, but like overall,
no, I think they're cool. I couldn't get any to drop for like the first half of the reset, but I think I got one finally to drop like Friday, and I think I have gotten maybe like 3 or 4 total so far.
Okay, that's about
and
where
that's
I'm
on.
Yeah.
That's on 2 characters doing almost all the milestones and tons of activities. So I think I've just had bad luck.
Yeah, that's not quite.
I have friends on Xbox already that have Better Devils and Uriel's Gift Masterworks.
Oh wow, dude, I can't get those 2 weapons to drop on PC. I got them like no problem, multiple of them on PS4.
I
but I can't even
play
get
the game on Xbox.
Yeah,
I've never gotten one to drop. I have gotten like 3 on PC. But yeah, I think they're cool. I haven't gotten one that's really even a keeper yet. Like I've gotten them on some, just kind of outlier legendaries that weren't anything remarkable.
Have you thought of any unique ways that they could already talking about it and we're happy with it, but we know it's a step probably of other things other than adding armor, like some depth they could add to it, I guess they could incorporate the mod system even as well.
I think it would be cool if when you had a masterwork, if it would add like a badge or a decal to the weapon's exterior.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I think that
other
would be
than
cool.
Just the gold. Yeah, it was cool to have the gold trim back around. That brought back memories.
Yeah, and that's around the icon.
Yeah.
But the actual gun model, it would be cool to have like some kind of thing to display. And that's just like a cosmetic thing, but
still cool. You could see it without having to inspect someone.
Yeah. I'm not sure what else they could do functionality wise. I mean, of course, they're giving us some stat bonuses. I don't think they want to take it too crazy far with padding the weapon out with extra, whatever. But I don't know. I think it would be cool if once you had a masterwork, if it would almost give you, this is very like a la Call of Duty, but give you objectives to complete with the weapon that would then unlock other parts or other functionality.
Well, I forget who said it this week, man, and I kind of hinted at it earlier, but some podcast or something I read this week, they were just saying this is the first step into making these weapons like have our story,
more personalized,
personal customization to us, our story, man. I remember when I got my Skatelock, I remember you can look at the stats on it, you can see how much time I put into it and things like that, like you said. So specific things you can achieve with it.
I'd
that
love
unlock
to be able
other
to
things.
like take my favorite gun, have some unique like badges, like maybe add your class emblem or add like you get 10,000 kills with it. It adds some kind of gold star on the outside or so. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
There's stuff. No. There's stuff they can do.
Little ways to personalize it. Very cool.
Just to make it, something that you can achieve things with. So I don't know. It's something definitely to think about. I'm certain that the community will come up. They've got a great collective imagination.
Yeah.
Always a huge wish list for the game. I'm sure people will be voicing to the developers what they'd like to see, and as we've said before, the developers are really good at coming up with unique ideas that we never expect as well. So I'm interested to see what they could do.
Their job is to take all of our feedback, throw out the not so good ideas, process it and tweak it, and then indirectly
awesome, right?
give us what
Something
we want.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but
dude, I got to do a honorable mention to the positive outlook that you can get.
Oh
through the
yeah,
store. Dude, that auto rifle, PvE and PvP.
positive outlook's dope, man. My new
Guys,
setup,
gotta have it.
autumn wind, positive outlook. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
Do you have autumn wind
excellent.
yet?
That kill clip. No, wait, I think I do.
Pulse
I think I did get it
rifle.
on one.
Fast firing.
Oh yeah. Is it by default like red and black?
Yeah, it's like Crucible colors, red and blue.
Yeah, I did get it. I can't remember on PC or PS4.
Love this gun, bro.
I have to check it out, dude. I don't go straight to pulse rifles right now, so I need to
Go straight to it.
Let's do it.
It's
Yeah,
good.
I'll have to do that.
It's really good.
You're talking PV. You're just talking all around.
Anything.
Okay, cool.
I'm enjoying it.
I will check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been using positive outlook like crazy.
Yeah,
There's
positive
no.
outlook's great.
I thought there was like even a little that weapon is appropriate right now. A positive outlook.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys do this on purpose? Come on.
Positive outlook, subtext, lead by example.
Yes.
Cute.
Very cool. But anyways, yeah, I've been using that.
Do you
much.
have the colony yet?
Oh no, I haven't gotten
man.
that. You do?
It's so fun.
Is it?
Get
Okay,
one.
cool.
Get one.
I gotta get one for sure.
It's just
Very
like
cool.
spam grenades and forget about them.
Nice.
They crawl
Nice.
around. They go eat your guys up. It's a very cool gun.
Can't wait to get that.
Well, it's been a fun reset, man. I'm looking forward to the dawning next week. We'll add some more stuff to do, and I always enjoy the unique looks of the events that they put on. Just the changes to the world are really cool. I'm probably going to try to jump back on PC over the next week or two. I really just have this week before, I'm getting a Switch next Monday.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I downloaded a game. I saw it was coming out, but I downloaded a game called Unepic, which I did a little
Unepic?
research on it. Yeah, it's called Unepic. It's just a side-scrolling RPG. Like,
Cool.
dude, I looked it up. It came out in 2011. But
So it's a
I
port?
don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I hadn't come across it on Steam. Maybe at some point I did, but I've only put about 20 to 30 minutes into it.
Mm-hmm.
I can already tell, dude, it is exactly what you want on the Switch. It has
Kind of looks like Transylvania. Or not
Dude, yeah,
Transylvania.
it has-
Castlevania is the word I'm
Castlevania,
looking for.
but it has like a huge inventory section. You get rings, you get different tiered weapons. Like it's $9.99.
like a dungeon crawler, right?
$10. Yeah, dude. So anyways, I'll report more on that later,
Cool.
but I'm already like, and just again, to have it just in my hands, laying in bed before I crash, take it to work,
sure,
to
yeah.
maybe fit in some time over lunch. It just sells it for me, dude. It's the Switch is such a cool
Such
console.
a cool console, yeah.
Anyways, I can't wait to hear about it when you get yours. You
I've got
dive
lots of
in.
stuff to play.
keep us posted.
I will. All right, man. Well, we would usually have some Dirt Fam discourse. Of course, it's kind of quiet for this
Everybody's
time
busy.
of the year.
Yep.
But if you would like to drop us some Dirt Fam discourse, usually the first show of the year, which is going to be our next show, we usually talk about what our hopes are for the new year, what our goals might be. I'm sure that we'll probably talk about that some. So if you're listening, why don't you, over the break, think about it. Tell us what you'd like to see in 2018, whether it be in Destiny and gaming and your life. Send us an email or a speak pipe. We'd love to hear from you. Speakpipe.com/Destiny Reset or Destiny Reset Podcast at gmail.com.
There you go.
Want to talk
Also-
about patrons for a minute?
Yeah, our Dirt Fam patrons. Again, busy time of year. We understand. No new patrons this week, but we do have an announcement. As far as Patreon having an announcement, they had shot out some fee changes that they were going to implement a couple weeks ago. They have since gotten feedback from the Patreon community, the patrons and the creators, and they are no longer implementing this fee change. They basically were going to apply a fee on the patrons' end, you guys' end, that it seemed would ultimately allow the content creators to get more of your support in the end, but it didn't come across that way in the way they were implementing it. So they have since announced that they're reverting the change. They never implemented it, but they're not going to. Long story short, so nothing is changing.
So good news for you.
Yes,
if you're a patron or were considering being a patron, we were just fine with the system the way it was. So. You know, for us, if it's good for our patrons, that's what we want. So this is, I think, for us, we consider this a positive thing.
Yep.
And so, you know, we talked about last week, you know, forget about everything we said. As far as changes to Patreon, it's going to continue like normal. If you're given $1, you'll get charged $1. So it'll keep it simple. But if you're wondering what a patron is, becoming a patron will allow you to financially support the production budget of Destiny Reset Podcast. You can do that for as little as $1 a month pledges. And you'll get some perks if you do so. We get a shout out on the podcast. We put your gamer tag on the website. You also get an invitation to our Discord channel for Dirt Fam patrons and supporters only. Where you get to talk with Arrow and I. We usually try to keep it open for talk about, you know, the future of what we might be talking about on the show or feedback from the show and just kind of a little peek behind the scenes and how we do things. So if you're interested in that, go to patreon.com/Destiny Reset.
Yes. We appreciate all of our patrons thus far.
Absolutely. You guys have, in 2017... all of our new patrons and supporters have made a really big difference for us, and so we got to thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that. All right, man.
Well,
we kept it short, but beefy this week.
Yeah. For sure. It's great to be back, catch up. I always love chatting with you about Destiny, man.
Absolutely. And you know what? I got to say, it's been an awesome year.
Yes,
as we bring this one to a close with our last show for 2017.
Yeah, no, it's not fully settled in that is the case, man. A lot of things have happened this year. Live shows, Dirt Fan meetups. Man, it's been fantastic.
It's been a blast. So I'm looking forward to what 2018 will bring. And another year of Destiny Reset Podcast and the Dirt Fam.
Exciting. Very exciting.
So we will be seeing you in 2018.
2018.
Where can people find you, Arrow Knight?
You can find me on Twitter at the Arrow Knight, and it's with a 0. Why not, right?
Yep.
And on Twitch and YouTube, it's Arrow Knight. What about you, dude?
Wonderful. You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter and Twitch. Finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter. You can email us at destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to send your nominations to win that $50 Amazon card.
Yes.
And then finally, you can find us at destinyresetpodcast.com. That's your source for all things DRP. Be sure to join our Discord if you haven't already.
Do it. Yep. There are links to everything on our website except the Discord.
It's discord.gg /Destiny Reset.
Yes, do so. Or if you go join the Bungie group, you will find a forum post that has it as well, linked inside of there. So anyways, man, great episode, great year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for being awesome, man.
You too.
Let's roll into 2018 and have another great one.
Can't wait.
All right, guys. Until next year, have fun playing Destiny 2 and take care, Guardians.
I can't wait to see what you do with that.
Nice. Nice, dude. I'm glad you went out of the year with a
Had to throw
good
one
old
in.
school